Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make cosmic techno like Joyhauser. We're going to be talking about their most recent EP and some stuff that I learned listening to that hopefully you guys can take and help to make your music better. As usual, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI presets, everything from this video. It's available right at the top of the description on my Bandcamp. This is a great way to support me if you guys have been enjoying these videos. And yeah, let's dive in. We're at 130 BPM. The first sound that I have here is this lead, which sounds like this. So you can hear what this lead is doing is it's basically just kind of walking down the scale. I'll show you if we fold this here, you can see, yeah, it's pretty much just following like this pretty straightforward path down the scale, and then you get like a 2-bar break. So this is popular with these kind of melodies, not just in Joyhauser's tracks, but in techno in general. Just having like a melody like this where it essentially is just rhythmically walking down the scale works really well because it's very easy to remember on the dance floor. Like if you're hearing this in the middle of a long mix, you're gonna remember that because it's pretty symmetrical. You know, each time is following pretty much the same kind of pattern. It's just walking down that scale. It's a very like logical step. And yeah, so that's how I try to think about the notes. For the sound with this one, it's 2 layers. So we have this wavetable patch, and then this analog patch, which is just noise. So what's happening here is I've got these in an instrument rack. This is a really easy way to do this, where basically I'm trying to still have this wavetable with both oscillators, because you only have 2 oscillators on wavetable, but you need that white noise on top to really give it like the brightness and the high end. So that's what this analog is doing. So yeah, the wavetable patch, you can see it's just 2 saw waves, and then I've got those low pass like really slightly, and then I've got a little bit of unison on that, and then for the analog patch, it's just noise, and then I have the filter on, but I'm not using it, and then the amp envelope's just set like that. And then on the overall lead, we have a bit of echo and reverb, so these are giving it space and some stereo width, because you can see I've got the echo on the ping pong setting, so we're getting that like back and forth kind of effect, and then the reverb is adding a lot of space. Then we have a drum bus and a saturator, so this is just to make it really, really fat. Here's without either of these. You can hear it's kind of thin without them. And then with the drum bus, it's starting to get there. And then with both, we really get that fullness. So yeah, it's just important to keep in mind like what really goes into it. It's not enough sometimes just to have drum bus or just to have a saturator. You really need to do both sometimes to get that full professional sound. And then finally, we just have a high pass filter cutting out the low end, kind of cleaning this up, making room for the kick. And that is it for the lead. After that, we have the kick, which sounds like this. So what this is, it's a rumble kick. You can see we have just the main kick layer. And then we have this rumble, which is being created by what is called a ghost kick. So it's a new technique. I haven't shown you guys before, but what you do to make the ghost kick is it's just the kick sample, the same one that we have on, that you're hearing like that. And then what's happening here is I've pitched it down a bunch and then I've low passed it. So you can see it's just doing that da 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 da, and then we pitch it down, and then low pass it, and then you can see that second low pass just gets rid of the click. But yeah, so it's a cool way to make a rumble kick, because you kind of get a little bit more control. You can make it a bit more rhythmic this way. You know, you could go in and like do fun stuff with the velocities like this. You know, if you really want to. There's a lot that can be done with making the kick this way, but yeah. And then on the main kick, we just have a bit of saturation. And then on the ghost kick, it's just... So you can see, I low pass it. Again, I low pass it twice because after the first low pass, you can still hear that click. And then we just have a bit of saturation on that one. I have it being sidechained a bit to the main kick. And then we just have this EQ, which is just cutting out some room for the kick. There's without it. And then with it. So yeah, it just makes it a bit more rumbly. And then those are in a group together, which is just going through a bit of saturation. So here's without that. And then with it. And you can hear what the saturation does. You know, it just makes it hit a lot more. It glues these together. And it makes the overall kick a lot fatter. And yeah, after that we have what I'm referring to here as a rhythmic pad, which sounds like this. So this is a sound that you hear in a ton of Joyhauser's tracks, and it's a really nice element to use in these kinds of techno tracks. What it is it's this little synth sound. I'll turn off all the effects so you can hear it. It's this little synth sound where we're just going just straight 16th notes like that. And then I have it going through some effects. So yeah, this is just FM with 2 sine waves. Really simple. It's just a sine wave and then a second one, which I have the coarse pitch at 3. And then those are going into this bandpass filter. Here's without the bandpass. And then with it, so you can hear that's important for kind of making this fit into the right place in the mix. And yeah, and then you can see I've also automated the bandpass a little bit. So this is just playing off of the lead. So like as the lead goes away, this filter on this pad kind of opens up. It's just a nice way to make a bit of room for the lead and make it so the track is more dynamic because everything is kind of playing off of each other. Yeah, and then after that we just have a bit of chorus. You can see I've got the feedback up on that one, so here's without it. And with it, this really helps to give it a bit of texture. Then we have this reverb, just giving it some space. I have a bit of drum bass, which fattens it up and also brings out the reverb. Here's without this. And then with it. And then finally, I just have a compressor sidechaining this to the kick, but it's just sidechaining it to that kick. We're obviously not also sidechaining it to the rumble. And yeah, and then the last thing that we have here are these hi-hats, which sound like this. So what we have here is just a few different layers. We have this one, which is just playing straight 16th notes. You can see that's going through a bit of saturation to make it hit a bit harder. We have this main hi-hat, which is playing on the upbeats. And you can see we've got a bit of reverb and a bit of saturation on this one. So this one's 3 layers. I'll turn off the effects so that you can see really what's going on under the hood here. But it's basically 3 layers that are complementing each other. So you can see we have this one, more of like a punch. This one, which doesn't have a lot of punch to it, but adds that bright high end. And then this one, which is kind of in between, adding a bit more like high mid-range. And you can hear them all 3 together. If we play any of them on their own, it wouldn't be enough to hold up in the mix. You know, like that's a little bit too small. That's a bit too small. That's a bit too small on their own, but then when we put them together, it hits nicely as its own hi-hat. So yeah, definitely recommend layering these for your sort of main hi-hat like this. This is a good way to make it kind of like its own thing. And the last hi-hat we have here is just this little one, which plays like that. So this is just playing a few little extra notes here and there. You know, it adds in the 16th notes. Just to kind of add a bit of groove and mix up the beat a little. Especially in that part without the lead. And And then on the group of these hi-hats, we just have a bit of saturation. So, pretty simple. Here's without it. And then with it, it's just making everything hit a bit more. And yeah, so that is it for the hi-hats, and that is also going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI presets. Everything from this video is available right at the top of the description, and if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.